topic under Investors Education Series is prompted by developments in the course of the week. The first development is my encounter when I visited a butcher. I have two big dogs that form part of my security squad in the house. And sometimes I go to the butchers to collect bones for them. And this day I went to the butcher, and as they put the bones on the table, pricing them normal, before it used to be 200 naira a piece. But I discovered that they are now doing it 500 naira bones. Yes, bones, I mean bones. A small quantity, not bigger than the quantity that we used to have. And I normally, whenever I have time to buy, I buy a good quantity that will not make me return there soon. And as soon as I got there, I saw about 10 of them put together. And I quickly priced it together and decided to pay. But there was a woman standing by me. She was there before me. I thought she was pricing the meat proper. When she saw the way I collected the whole bones, she protested. And she said, "You want to take all the bones?" I said, "Oh, I didn't know you wanted." I decided to open a discussion with her. "Madam, do you own dogs? What kind of dog do you have?" I expected, as dog lovers, we share knowledge. And she didn't answer me. She kept mute, kept quiet for a while. And after some time, I prodded her again to speak. She wouldn't speak. Then the butcher said, "No, they eat it." The bone? This type of bone? I'm not talking about biscuit bone. I'm talking about real bone. Did they eat it? I said, "Oh, madam, I'm sorry. Do you want to buy?" She said, "Yes." I said, "How much?" She said she would have loved to take one or two of those. I now told the butcher, "Please release two of those meat for her." She tried to pay me, and I told her, "Please go and take it." But I got home worried, very much worried about the incident. Do people now struggle for bones with dogs? The butcher said yes. I didn't know it has gotten to this level. And by the special grace of God, some of us are insulated from realities. And I was shocked. I won't forget that shock. That's what is incident number one. Incident number two was Thursday, penultimate week, 17th of October, 2024. The World Bank in Abuja released what they called economic update on Nigeria. And in that update, they said over 129 million Nigerians now live below poverty line. Now, let me explain something to you who may not know much about poverty line. Poverty line is an imaginary line created by economists. And they classify the whole people in a country, in a region, in a place, below or above, depending on your economic capacity, depending on your earning power. Now, the policies of governments over the years and in countries is aimed at lifting as many people as possible from under the poverty line to above the poverty line. So when you hear that somebody is operating below the poverty line, it means that his economic power, his earning, the money he has, makes him to fall below. And government policies ordinarily is aimed at lifting people above the poverty line. So one major parameter to know how well the government of the day or any government has done is how many people were lifted above the poverty line or how many people fell below the poverty line. That report was indicting. Some of us didn't quite like it for the love of our country. And let's look at one or two things that are in that report. That report says, as at 2018, 40.1% of Nigerians were below the poverty line. But in 2024, 56% of Nigerians, which is about that 129 million, are now below the poverty line. And the good thing is that they went on to say what has happened. Why did it happen? The word that kept repeating itself in their report is that the pace of economic development was not fast enough to outpace inflation. There is economic development, no doubt, but the pace, the speed with which it's going, the result that it's producing was not good enough to outpace inflation. It means that inflation is higher and higher. And of course, if you're a Nigerian, you know what they're saying. That we have seen it month in, month out, that inflation keeps increasing. And what does it do? We have taken time before in Brush Radio to explain to you that the major problem of inflation is that it erodes your purchasing power. It makes the naira to be less useful. I don't want to. We love our country. We cannot bring it down. It makes the naira purchasing power to be less. Something that you were buying for 1 naira will become 1 naira 50. Inflation. And it has been like this for months. The government of the day have been trying to curtail it. They have been doing policies that are aimed at it. But like World Bank rightly said, the pace of economic development is outpaced by inflation. There is a pace. There's economic development. But the speed that inflation is eroding it. So there is something to be done. That reminds me of a song released in 1970 by a reggae group that is called the Pioneers. And it says, starvation is present toward the nation. There must be someone to help this situation. I'm sure you know that song if you're an old guy like me. Starvation is raving through all the nation. There must be someone to help this situation. And of course, the person on whose shoulder it lies to help this situation is the government of the day. And the government of the day have been trying to do something. But it seems that the pace, like World Bank says, is faster than that of the economic growth. That's an issue. Now, the other thing that the World Bank report says is there is multiple shocks in context of high economic insecurity have deepened and broadened poverty. Oh, I don't know how they get these words, but it explains it. Multiple shocks in context of high economic insecurity have deepened and broadened poverty. Deepened, broadened poverty. That's the word that the World Bank is using. But what are they talking about? Economic insecurity. The farmer who produces the food we eat cannot go to the farm any longer. He wants to go to the farm, but if he dares to go to the farm, he will become a hostage. Reason is that Boko Haram is ravaging. Bandits are in parts of the north, and the north, believe it, it's the food basket of this nation. So if north is not cleared of these bandits who will not let the farmer go to farm, this problem will persist because food insecurity, economic insecurity, food will become scarce and more difficult to get, and inflation will still go up. Somebody had proposed that government should hire foreign mercenaries to help clear those areas of these bandits. The army chief, the Nigerian army chief protested. I don't expect less from him. He felt that it's a judgment on their performance. Yeah, patriotism demands that. But I think it's high time Nigeria would throw away pride for the sake of the life of the people. If you have to bring in these foreign mercenaries, let them be brought. What we care for now is that Nigeria should be free. Banditry in the north is a major issue that is causing more problem. And of course, there was flood the other day. That one is natural calamity. We have nothing against it. We cannot do much against it. But government must have to support. Now, it says that insecurity had deepened and broadened poverty. Deepened and broadened. That word is apt. Now, these are things that were raised up in that report. Now, there's another thing that the report says. Why poverty demand remaining a rural phenomenon, urban poverty has also risen. Oh, Poverty is more in the rural areas. I come from a rural area. Each time I visit my people, I cry. The kind of poverty I see in the rural areas is much. But it says, even though poverty is a rural phenomenon, but urban poverty has also increased. In 2018, 18% of urban dwellers were poor. But as at today, 31.3% of urban dwellers are poor. What a world. So people in urban areas have joined the trend, increasing in number. The funniest thing, it also said that not even a job secures you. That you have a job that is paying does not secure you from being poor. That's a structural defect needed to be aligned. Because what it talks about in economics, what we call disguised unemployment. There are people who every day they dress and go to work. When you pay them, their take home doesn't take them home. That number is increasing. They are urban dwellers from 18% in 2018 to 33.3% in 31.3% in 2024. That's a serious matter. So urban dwellers have joined the trend. Poverty is no longer a rural phenomenon alone. Let's go and see poor people who go to the village. We're seeing them in the urban areas. Like I told you about my encounter at the butcher shop. That's a sign of poverty. Again, I would like to close this by saying what World Bank has said in terms of warning. World Bank warned that Nigeria should not, because of what is going on, reverse this move, these deregulations, these things they are doing that brought about this poverty. If they do it, that it will worsen things. Well, that matter is left for the policymakers. But the part that concerns me, somebody asked a question because it was a press conference. Is World Bank ready to give Nigeria more money? Yeah, we are ready to give more loans. As if the loan is free. It's not a grant. Should Nigeria take these loans again and continue to be indebted and continue to service loans? And we are already deep into debt. That's the question for you. And I don't mind if you have an answer for it. Should Nigeria take more of these loans? Where is the one we are taking going into? Are we not mortgaging the future of our children, born and unborn? That is a matter for you, fellow Nigerian. That matter will be decided by you. And if you have an answer, why not? Thank you very much. As it's our practice here in Broad Street, whenever topical matter comes up, we will address it within the powers that we have under Investors Education Series. Have a blessed day. Thank you.